Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Alders of the BMW MOA. And joining me today is Sam the Whiskey Czar. Sam joins us from Watson Shack and Rail in beautiful downtown Champaign, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Builder's Best After Hours, Bourbon, Bikes, and Barbecue. We're looking forward to a great event. Sam is our Whiskey Czar. And Sam, why don't you welcome everybody yourself?
This is going to be an amazing thing to have on a Friday evening over the course of so many days of passion and people having great conversations. We hope to do the same thing with you with some builders and also with a little bit of bourbon thrown in. It's going to be a lovely evening.
Yeah, so we're going to have some bourbon. We're going to have some great tasting. We're going to have some great barbecue, some door prizes. It's going to be a really fun evening.
And we've put together a really amazing set of tables that really kind of chronicles those of us that are pouring our relationship to bourbon and the way that our palates have changed over time. So we have some great blue chips that are things that we may have started drinking right from the beginning. And we have some of these really amazing craft distilleries represented also that are really kind of pushing the envelope and like expanding the palate of what American whiskey is. It's predominantly bourbon. There are a few other surprises on the table that'll be fun to talk about. But all in all, it's really just another place to sit down and have these conversations with each other and really get to know each other. And that's the thing I love about bourbon is how many people, how many great friends it's really helped me meet over the years.
Yeah, that's awesome. So 3 different tasting tables, 18 bourbons.
Correct.
Is what you're saying. So an amazing variety. When you check in at 6:30 for the first pour, you'll get your little tasting glass that'll be yours for the evening for all your different tastings. Tell us a little about these glasses. These are fun.
So I had whiskey in Scotland several years ago when I was on the island of Islay, and it was in a glass that this is modeled after. It's actually Glencairn's, the famous distillery tasting glass producer, and they make those really specific ones you'll see at whiskey tastings. I like this one better for the shape because it holds, I think, the aromas a little bit better. Took me forever to find them, and luckily we were able to get them engraved for this event.
These are awesome. Okay, so now it's time for the main attraction. These are our raffle bottles that we're going to be raffling off at the event. Why don't you take us through the rundown of what the folks are going to have a chance to
Absolutely.
win?
So we had fun going back and forth and kind of discussing what this was going to look like for several months. And what we settled on were things that were going to be really lovely, hard to find, and special and unique for just an event like this. So we're starting with what we're actually drinking right now, which is a single barrel Woodford that I picked out. It's a double oak that's specifically for a whiskey fest I put on in Champaign every year. It's delightful. And likewise, I have this amazing Weller single barrel that's just landing for me that is one of the best Wellers I've ever had. And this has been confirmed by many people. It is an amazing bottle. So someone lucky is going to get to go home with that. This was a gift. This came out of my own cellar. This is a 12-year-old wild turkey that is a Japanese only release. And there's this really interesting kind of, I don't know how to say this. There's this really interesting subculture within whiskey collectors who really seek out older Japanese whiskeys. The Japanese were instrumental in saving the bourbon industry during the 80s, during the kind of big downturn that happened. And so there's these really lovely bottles, special bottles you can only buy in Japan. And a friend of mine carried that back in their suitcase for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's really great to get to share that with somebody else.
That would be fun.
It is old school whiskey, and it's dusty and rich and earthy in a way that I think modern bourbon's changed away from a little bit. It's kind of a throwback, if you will. And likewise, we have this Blanton's Gold. These are the kind of heavy hitters. I only see a little bit of Blanton's Gold every year. I actually just turned in my horses, though. I got all 8 of them.
Congratulations.
So I was able to bring the gold down to the distillery a couple of months ago. Also from Buffalo Trace is the sleeper, I think, on the table, the Thomas Handy Rye. And I know it's a bourbon-themed event, but this really is a bourbon drinker's rye. It is like fat on the bone and rich and powerful.
And not that many bottles produced.
No, this is part of that antique collection release that comes out towards the holidays at the end of each year, and it's something that I get a handful of bottles each year. And likewise, the Pappy Van Winkle 15 is something that when I started in the business a while ago, you were able to just walk in liquor stores and buy it almost all year, and it was before people were really excited about bourbon in the way that they are now, and it's become impossible to find. And so it's really great to get to share it, and I've shared many bottles of this with people over the years, so I'm really glad that we get to share a bottle with somebody, some lucky winner.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun evening. It's going to be a really fun evening. We're really looking forward to having you join us. Remember, Doors open at 6:30 at the Blue Ribbon Building on Friday night at the rally. And we'll have some great food, some wonderful tastings, have a chance to win these bottles at the raffle, some great interviews with a few of our builders, and a really fun night. So with that, cheers.
Cheers. Looking forward to it. See you.